But there's a lot of people that say that they're Christian, and we're hearing about them more and more in the media, even though what they do and what they say does not align always with our understanding of who Jesus was. So it's important for us to reflect a little bit more deeply about what it really does mean to call ourselves Christian for us. So yes, we hung mirrors on the back walls for us so that as you walk in and as you walk out, if that catches your eye, you think a little bit more deeply about how you live out your faith. And we are going to, in worship, we're going through some of those very familiar Bible stories. But we're taking a new look at them and asking ourselves some different questions. Because that's the beauty of the scripture. That depending on what question you ask of the scripture and then read it, you will get a newer interpretation. You will get possibly a deeper meaning, or you will see something that you didn't notice before. So today, we've already done the creation stories, because we talked about that there's more than one, and we did Noah's Ark, and now, and I think we must have done something else, and now we're doing the 10 Commandments. And I specifically had Doris read the 10 Commandments out of Deuteronomy, because that's not the version that you're used to hearing. You're used to hearing Exodus 20. And so I'm going to actually talk about what was different in case you didn't notice the differences. Deuteronomy was written by someone that the scholars called the Deuteronomist, the writer of Deuteronomy. It could have been a person, it could have been a group of like-minded thinkers. It's hard to tell. But the style of Deuteronomy is consistent through 2 Kings. And so they think that these scriptures were written by this person or group of persons. And the main focus of the books is to say two things. One, that God is faithful to covenants. God makes covenants with us, and God keeps them. And to remind us that we're not so good at that. That we are not so good about keeping covenants with God, particularly with regard to our worship of God. So, with that in mind, that's sort of the mindset of the Deuteronomist. Also, the Deuteronomist was writing in the 7th century BCE, whereas Exodus, Genesis would have been written in the 8th or 9th century. So the Deuteronomist would have actually had access to those writings, which is probably why the 10 Commandments themselves are the same. It's what's written around them and in them that is a little bit different. So, that being said, let's look at them. They are, like I said, the commandments themselves. Now, this is the simplest, like the children version, right? The commandments themselves are the same. So as we begin this sermon, I want you to think about which of these is most difficult for you? And what would help you in keeping it more faithfully? So that's kind of your challenge for today and maybe even into the week. Which of these is the most challenging for you to keep?